Hi, I'm Chanel, one of the journalists at Manx Radio. Welcome to the latest edition of Manx Radio Newscast. Right, can I start with your names, please?
Charmaine and De'ath.
David De'ath.
Perfect. Now, you guys are doing you guys are new to the island, new residents to the island, but you're also going to be doing something special in the coming weeks. So there's an anniversary coming up. Can you tell us about that?
Okay, in 1991, it seems many years ago, Dave and I and family members were on a cruise on the Wildcoast in South Africa called the Oceanos. We only got on in the afternoon, and 9 hours later we had to get off. It was sinking, and the ship did go down, and according to my record, it went down 90 meters. So that anniversary is coming up. The anniversary date of the ship sinking is the 4th of August, and we like to celebrate it with either doing a talk or just, contacting other fellow survivors and reminiscing the times the fortunate times with people who got off like us, who survived it.
Right, Dave, would you like to add on there?
It's probably important to point out that it was an overnight trip between East London and Durban. So we literally would have got on in the afternoon, which we did, and we would have got off probably the following morning at midday. Obviously, that was not to be, because we only been on the boat for about 3-4 hours when we got into serious trouble. So,
recounting that night, I'm sure the scenes don't really leave you. You probably can still recall or remember what you were doing at that moment when you realized things weren't as it should have been on that night.
I think we went for supper, nice dining room, lots of crockery, and we saw very quickly the waiters were having trouble just moving around the tables. Then crockery started flying off the tables and getting smashed, and other objects were falling out. So it was very, very bad weather. So, and during that period, there was like a muffled, I suppose it was an explosion of sorts, and the lights went out. So you know you're in trouble. The other thing that sticks in my mind is we made our way up to the lounge, and there's a grand piano on the stage, and the ship was moving that violently. The grand piano flew off the stage. It didn't hit anybody, but it's very impressive. So we knew we were in trouble.
Charmaine, would you like to add on there?
Well, as you know, we have a story we have told before, and it's lovely. It does bring back memories, and we'd like to share this on the evening of the Sunday, the 3rd of August, as a fundraiser for the RNLI at the Yacht Club. We want to share because they have commitment to saving lives at sea, and I think ours has been rated as one of the best rescues in the world, between the Navy and civilians and everybody. I did a reunion last year in East London, South Africa, the Museum of East London, South Africa. And I met a person from the lifeboat rescue person. He knew the boat was sinking before I did. He said, I got a phone call before midnight. And I'm like, at midnight, I didn't know what was going on.
I did read up that most of the crew and the captain had left the ship when they realized what was going on, basically abandoned the passengers. You guys, when you're seeing the scenes of everything moving side to side, you kind of know that you're in trouble. How did you know that help was on the way? Did you guys see that civilians? Did you see the Navy? How was it, trying to get to, were you all trying to find like the highest spot?
There was no official announcement, and as you're probably aware, the crew took the first lifeboats and they vanished. I think the captain stayed on until first light in the morning, and then he also vanished on the first helicopter that came in. So it was the entertainers on that ship who actually coordinated the rescue. And I think the other very comforting thing for me, because I was looking out on the sea, and other ships were coming and stayed around us. So at least you got company. So.
Basically, after dinner, we couldn't understand why they rushed dinner. I couldn't understand. I'd heard about these cruises and the food, and you could spend time eating. And they rushed us, and that I didn't understand. And as a family, we were part of a family group of 9. We went to the front to see the entertainment. And I heard a whisper, and I said to my dad, something's not right here. So there was never an announcement. The lights cut out. The anchor was dragging. There was the silence of I think it's the engine. And if you say were we sinking or what was happening, we had no idea. So we were like half guessing, are we in trouble? And there's a lot of funny things I remember. A lot of stressful things, stressful times. I do think when the anniversary comes up, I feel it in my body.
Yeah. Charmaine's father was from Zambia, and when we were in this little group, he got quite worried because it's very difficult to travel around on a Zambian passport. We didn't have it. He went all the way back to his cabin, and he was actually knee-deep in water when he retrieved his passport and came back to the lounge area. So...
yeah, these things we sort of remember when he said, I've just gone to the cabin. Do you know there's water in the cabins? And we're like, water? Again, so we just didn't understand anything. I think one of the important things about it is from the time we got on the ship and after dinner when they started handing out the life jackets, it was one of those occasions where they didn't do a life safety drill. We were not practiced on our life jackets. So this is like after dinner, sitting in the lounge, and they start handing out life jackets with, again, not saying anything. So there's so many things where I feel it's a story important to tell, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people interested.
It was the entertainers handing out the lifeboats, not the crew. The crew had gone.
Yes, it was the entertainers that actually saved everyone. 539 passengers?
571.
571, sorry. Yeah, it was the entertainers that saved the passengers on that night.
Yeah. They were in communication with the shore. And I think there's aircraft started coming at first light. It's quite emotional, isn't it?
Yeah. The things you put together, and I mean, we had the one entertainer. A funny thing that I remember is all the drink that was floating around. So we were listing so badly, and it was like an open bar. The bottles are rolling down it, and some people managed to get some. But the entertainer for an evening, I think his name was Trevor. Finally, when we were getting off in the daylight and we were being airlifted, he was singing his head off on the swimming pool. He was completely finished. And, there's those kind of things that you remember, and you had a bit of sense of humor. But we didn't actually panic. There was no sense of panic, but we were sitting in the dark, in the unknown for hours. And I think that the worst thing for me is when daybreak came. Only then did the helicopters come. And by then we were hanging on to the side rails of the ship. And that helicopters, that's the strongest memory. So you could see them and hear them, but then there was a queue to get off. And we were not the first. The crew pushed past us with luggage. And then there was this long queue that you had to wait and get on the helicopter. And we had a unique experience on the helicopter, but we will share that on the evening.
I was just going to ask, when can, so it's on the evening of the 3rd, where can people come through to hear more and to chat with you guys more about this and find out more?
At the Yacht Club, we will be talking for a fundraiser for the RNLI. So it'll be on the 3rd of August at the Yacht Club starting at 7 p.m.
And, how did the idea of having this talk come up on the island? Is it as you were thinking of the anniversary approaching and then you thought, actually, I'd like to get in touch with the RNLI and hopefully try and raise funds? Is that how the idea came up?
Exactly what I thought of. I wanted to link it. I wanted to make it an evening and thought, well, not just an evening to talk, but a fundraiser. Yes.
And how much would you like to raise for the organization?
I've looked at the website and their equipment. For example, just a life jacket alone is £600. So I would say if I could aim between £600 and £900 for that evening, and at least we've contributed to a piece of equipment, I'll be very happy with that.
And being survivors, sharing your own story. How important are services like this?
Very important. It's we're grateful. There are a couple of people that helped on the boat and got an award. What is that award called?
The Navy diver on the back of the ship, he was coordinating the helicopter rescue. Now, when we got hoisted up, we sat there in the helicopter, and there's a woman came up and she burst into tears. She's an Afrikaans woman. She said, my man. He'd wriggled in the harness and dropped down into the ocean there. That diver who was coordinating the rescue from there, he went off the ship, swam, got this man, and took him to a boat, because there's other small boats and things around, put him in that boat, and then he came back. And how he did it, I don't know. He got back onto the ship and then carried on with the actual rescue. That particular guy, I'll never forget his name, it's Paul Wiley. He got the highest honour that's possible to get in South Africa. It's called the Honoris Crux in gold. I think only 6 have ever been awarded over a very long period of time. That's how good this man was and what he did.
I think I've got everything I need. Is there anything else you guys would like to add or say? Is there a Just Giving page or a fundraising page, or will people have to come on the night if they'd like to listen, have a chat and make a donation?
Yes. Thank you. We would also like to open it out to, as we new residents, so, we haven't networked as much as we would like to. But if there's anybody on the island that has had a relative or been a survivor themselves, we would like to connect with them as well.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.